Yeah. So that is the intro for the Technician podcast. Guys, today we've got Jordan Potts with me. This is episode 4. This young man's come on to have a chat to us about a lot of different things, and I'm pretty excited about it. But welcome, dude. Welcome to the house, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I'm excited.
That's all right, man.
Yeah.
So I'd love to start off with, because obviously there's a big space we need to fill in, but I'd love to find out, where'd you grow up, what was your childhood like, and all that sort of thing.
Awesome. Let's go right back to the start. Born in Brisbane, and so I'm Queenslander at heart.
Hey,
Always a Queenslander. And then moved up to the sunny coast when I was 9. Started school up in Noosaville.
Hey.
And yeah, grew up in Noosa, surfing, playing. I started playing soccer actually at the start, and then went into rugby league. So it was like surfing, rugby league, nippers, always at the beach, just full grommet life.
Nice.
And yeah, it was epic. Growing up was awesome. I felt like a superhero.
Yeah.
It was like every single day for me. And my personality type is an ENFP, which is the champion or the superhero. Like when you look at
I think I'm the journeyman. Yeah,
yeah.
So I know a bit about it. It's cool.
Yeah. So the champion or the ENFP basically thinks of themselves as like a superhero. So, whether it was wearing an actual cape that I put on myself when I was a little kid, or I was running around just frothing.
Yeah, right.
That was my world.
Yep.
And yeah, all the way up until when I was 11, mum and dad split up, and I was this happy-go-lucky kid, just absolute frother, family, like heaps of family values, friends, sport, sunshine, and then boom, parents split up. My heart just got ripped out of my chest. And man, every time I tell this story, I get it hits me deep.
Yeah, it brings back those memories. Obviously,
it's just an interesting space to navigate as a young kid, because you don't really have the support network around you yet to inform you and educate you what you're going through. First of all, your parents are going through some sort of trauma, like emotional, probably heaps of expectations that they thought their life was going to pan out.
Like careers and that sort of stuff.
Like all the shit that they're going
pressures,
through.
Yeah.
So, then the kids are left with this experience of all this emotional uplift. What am I feeling? What am I going through? How do I navigate it? Looking at other families, they're so perfect. Like,
yeah, comparing. Yeah, the comparisons come in quick, don't they?
It kind of buckles you, for me, and we all do it. I saw my parents a bit, or not all. I know that some people out there don't have that vision. So for me, I thought my parents were the Lords.
Yeah.
They couldn't do a thing wrong.
Yep.
And then when that happened, it really broke me. Like it tore me up. I'm like,
did you see them differently?
I didn't see them differently. I saw our dynamic differently.
Yeah, okay.
So quickly we went into split house, co-living, and like that was pretty hard. Dad was super rocked. My mum was stressed, crazy stressed. She developed MS, so multiple sclerosis, and like a heavy case of it. Like went downhill really, really quick.
I was going to say, so that happened really quickly? It wasn't like a couple of years sort of thing? Or
Well, she was diagnosed with it, and then over the next 5 years, like got really, really crook.
Wow.
And so like when we're at her place, my sister really took over the cooking duties and everything. She was 2 years younger than me. And then mum couldn't look after us. She'd make like mistakes because the dexterity and stuff was like, she was losing it.
Yep.
So she poured a hot kettle on herself once, and just like things like that. As a young kid, you're like, man, what's going on?
You can't grasp it fully, right? You're just sort of seeing it happen.
Yeah,
and
you don't actually know how to process and understand what's happening in your world. And it's kind of like, so many kids go through, how common is divorce these days? They say like 2 out of 3 marriages are in divorce
common,
or something.
Man. Yeah.
It's crazy. So many kids are going through this. And what I want to focus on is there's not enough of us surrounding these kids and giving them that like affirmation or education to be like, hey, this is a hard thing to go through, but your parents still love you, and like giving them that emotional support.
Yeah.
So, for me, I got really angry. That's like, I was a young kid. I turned from happy-go-lucky into angry and a bit pessimistic.
Yeah.
And then on the surface, I was happy, which was a bad mix.
Yeah, dude.
So
masking it.
yeah. So I'm playing rugby league as a young kid, and all I knew was to try and hurt people.
Yeah.
No technique. Like you're from a footy background. That kid would just run too hard into tackles or whatever.
Concussion galore.
Yeah. So over the next 6 years, I broke both collarbones, snapped my ACL, got knocked out, broke fingers. I was nicknamed like the injured kid. Like I was like couldn't
I was the same, bro.
Couldn't go 6 games without being on the sideline.
I got called the human tampon. What is it? In 1 week, out for 3?
Yeah. I wasn't quite at that age yet, but and it just ended up in hospital so much. And then the last straw was when I was 16. I did my ACL, and Dad said to me, actually, the funniest thing is my grandparents only used to come and watch every now and then. And every time they watched, I got injured. Oh. They would literally come like 2 games a year, and it was like the games they watched, I got buckled. So yeah, it was pretty rough, like emotional roller coaster over those 5 years, because I didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't wait for the weekend to try and like destroy someone, because it's like, yeah, this is my space where I can ruckus. But it just tore me to bits, and then I started losing confidence in myself because I felt weak and incapable, and I just started to lose self-worth. Always being injured, putting on weight, in my mental health was like so shot.
Yeah.
And Dad said to me when I did my ACL, he goes, "Oh, like what's your plan?" And I said, "I think I'm gonna give it up." And he goes, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea."
So how old were you when you gave it up?
16.
Yeah, it's a good age.
Yeah.
You can sort of go on your other part of the journey.
Except I did my ACL, and I spent the 9 months the first like 3 months just in bed playing Call of Duty and eating chips, Wheat Bix, Coke.
Yeah.
Like no awareness of diet, right? So I've packed on 30 kilos like in a flash.
Swole.
Next thing I'm like, never been this heavy before. Never been overweight. Never had man tits, gut, anything. I'm like, what's going on? Like this is no good. So I got even more depressed. And my skin was so bad, man. I had like boils, volcanoes on my back.
Yeah.
Like this crazy.
Like back knee sort of stuff.
It was cystic. Like it's like at a cellular level. Like it's not on the surface. It's like these big boils. And yeah, man, my parents were like, oh, like we can't fix this. Like what's going on? Took me to the doctor. They're like, yeah, jump on this Roaccutane stuff. It like fully like just sucks the pus out of it, dries your skin out. You'll be good in a couple of months. Okay, let's do that without looking at the side effects. So then like 6 months down the track, I just found myself like suicidal. I'd got my license. So I was having crazy thoughts of like, I'm injured, I'm overweight, my family's split up, I've got no emotion, my emotions are fucked. I just feel like an emotional wreck every day. My friends take the piss out of me all day, every day because it's funny. And I laugh along with them because it's funny.
Yeah, of course. That's what the boys do, right?
Yeah. And then I go home and can't sleep, and I'm all dosed up on medication. Like, I was ready to end it. I'm like, this is a shittest experience. And I had no one to speak to in a really honest way.
No real close mates that can you talk about that sort of stuff?
Not back then.
Yeah, okay.
I've formed some relationships since then that I know I can go to in a vulnerable position and say like, hey, I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
I need to have a chat. Like,
fuck, how important is that?
Oh man. But I think about, there's a lot of young boys in that space between maybe 12 to 18 who don't have that friend who they can just, be a pussy to, right?
Yeah.
Because if you open yourself up, man, I'm feeling fucked up, like I'm sad, I'm really like, this is getting at me. Shut up, you pussy. Like, you fucking kidding me?
Man up, man.
Pull your socks up. You'll be all right. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure if that culture exists for most of those young boys. Like, I had close mates, my best mates, but I didn't feel like I could go to them. And yeah, it was just a weird concept. So
I see it, man, because I see it. Like I said, I work at Rebel, so I'm there a couple days a week, and I meet some kids. Right, I'm selling the footy boots or whatever. They're with their mum, and they start talking about things. They start talking, and I can see the kid just isn't confident. So I start to try like connect with him a little bit, like how's footy going, all this sort of stuff. By the end of it, with most chats, I'm talking about, yeah, man, if you do this, or if you ever need a chat, come in and see me. And it's like they're looking at you as if like, who is this guy? I want him to be my mentor. I want him to like tell me these things. And it's like, that should not have to come from a complete random stranger who works at Rebel Sport that they're getting football boots from. Like that, they should not.
It's just not in our culture.
Nah, it's not.
And it's also not super accepted yet. I do believe it's starting
getting better
to change.
for sure. Yeah.
But it's not really accepted to be weak. Okay, I'll rephrase it because I actually believe strength is showing vulnerability.
For sure.
Like it takes strength to say, hey, I'm a bit fucked up here. I'm in a bad position. I need help.
Yep.
You know, to actually ask for help is one of the most undervalued skills that we have as human beings. I'll just do it on my own. I'll be right. I'll get over it. So for these young kids, especially these young boys, because girls can talk to them.
Yes, very different cultures, right?
It's super different culture.
Yeah.
You know, they'll cry on each other's shoulders and big group of them, whatever.
Yeah, oh, babe.
Yeah, that's not happening with the boys.
Hell no.
And yes, it's all good and well to be like, yep, brawn, I'm tough, I'm strong, rah, rah. But every rock can crack. You know, and if there's a point that you do feel the cracks, you need your support system, you need your network, like you need the earth, the grounding aspect of having good, close relationships. And that might not be in friends, it might be in mentors, which we'll get into with what I do with my business. But it's challenging. So I was in that phase and I'm like, right, I'm ready to call it. And I remember I was driving home from Croy one night and, oh man, I like shake every time I tell this story. Oh.
You're right, man. Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so grateful that I'm still here today because there's been a few times when I could have ended it. And yeah, I'm just glad that I have the tools now to overcome this stuff. But back then, man, I was driving around this corner up in Croy on my way back to Taunton, and there's this big rounding bend, and there's a big fat tree on the edge of the corner. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was coming home from a mate's place, and I was driving. I'm literally I can end it right now. I'm just going to drive, pin it 110 around this corner and aim at the tree. I know it's close to the road. And it'll be over in a flash. And I was coming around the corner, and as I was coming around, I could just visualize my family. And there was this strong pull on the wheel. My hands are shaking.
Oh, I've got goosebumps, dude. This is exactly what happened to me.
There's this strong pull on the wheel to stay on the road.
Yeah.
And I was watching the tree and my mind was I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to knock myself off, but I just couldn't turn off the road. And I had my family in my head, and then I just continued around the corner. I drove straight home and I just cried in my bed. I'm like, I don't want to live like this shit. I don't want to, I'm at a really low point in my life, and yeah, I don't want to continue living like this. And it was really hard.
Wow. Fuck.
Man, my heart rattles, eh?
Dude, but I appreciate you sharing that and it's terrifying to think that your situation and your experience with that was exactly like mine. I don't know if you've heard me say
I didn't know that.
But my first episode, I talk about that day I came home from my job that I hated. It was that build-up of everything. So I was about 20 at the time, I'm pretty sure. It was a culmination of so many things. It was I'm going to be an NRL player. Jokes. I'm working at my local IGA. So it's this 2 years progression of I'm worthless. Everyone else is at university, doing whatever. Everyone's doing well. That's what I thought. That's what I perceived as success. It's you're meant to be doing this, this, and this. So yeah, bro, I just went down this really dark path and trying all these different jobs that I fucking sucked at, or what I thought I sucked at. I just couldn't stand them. And I just got to a point where one day I had a really bad day, really horrible day at work, and I thought, okay, got in my car, driving home, that big roundabout at Caloundra, coming around that, same thoughts, man. And I literally went to go off the road. I went off the road. I aimed for a tree, but something clicked. Last second, boom, pulled it back, fishy, broke down crying, same thing. I got home and I told my missus at the time, I need to get out of this. We need to change. So we moved to Sydney. And that was when my journey really changed, because I got out of my comfort zone big time again, got a new job, started at Rebel, all this stuff. So, dude, hearing you say that, I wanted to cry just then, because it brought out a lot of memories back for me too. So I can't imagine how you felt telling that story then. Yeah, but I appreciate that.
Oh man, thank you. I'm happy to, speak about this stuff, because as although it's hard and it's guttural. The thing about life experiences are
sickening,
they're guttural. You can feel it And so for people going through this kind of stuff, it's so deep. It's not a joke. It's so deep in their emotional processing, their day-to-day life, that it does rattle you. And I really want to be there to help people work through that, because now, man, ooh, maybe.
Oh.
You know,
And so this is your purpose, right? Does it
Yeah.
come from that? You don't want other people to feel that same way?
Yeah. So there's a big part of that purpose with young boys, because I don't think we've got a great culture in Australia to emotionally educate boys.
Yeah.
We can physically get them strong. We can get them fast, playing sport, healthy. Nutrition, shithouse.
Horrible.
Mental, shithouse. The mental education that I was brought up with was be fucking hard and be tough. What does that mean? Like, what the guy that's bigger than you has it over you already, and if you're a little kid, you just got to be able to cop a beating and be able to stand back up.
Take his legs, son.
Yeah, you know, like I can cop a hit. I've been flogged, and I don't get at all affected by it. Like, I've literally been flogged multiple times. Got bullied at school, bashed up, flogged in footy. You know, I've had a lot of beatings. You know, big surf, all that. That's not tough. I don't believe that's tough.
Yeah. No.
For me, I'm learning to be like a really solid man or male in our society is to be of service to others, of helping others, and also providing for yourself to be in the best position to provide for others. You know, there's also this concept around provide for those around you, but I've seen it time and time again where the male within that realm is no good in himself, and then it eventually buckles.
Yeah.
It's like,
His cup isn't full, right?
yeah, we're not like encouraging that like male sovereignty, or like that sovereignty in the man to be their best self, so that trickles into their community, their loved ones, whatever.
That's cool.
You know, so it's kind of like this, you know, put out for everyone else, and then we all have empty cups, and the male suicide rate's fucked up.
Yeah, go work in the mines, earn all the money so you can support your family.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your mental health. It's fine.
Yeah, so yeah, a big part of my purpose is now, first of all, allowing people, holding space for people. So when they're going through something, I've learned to not try and fix them, just be there for them.
Okay.
And that's a really interesting process as a coach and as a facilitator, is not trying to fix problems, because that's what we naturally want to do as males, is fix problems.
Yeah.
But what we're best at is holding space. When a male makes you feel comfortable, that's an incredible energy.
Okay.
You know, it's very easy to press on people, like we're talking about before. Very easy to fix problems. Okay, I'll fix this. I'll fix that.
Yeah, why can't you be like me? Do this, do that. Yeah.
But to a lot of people, a support system is just being there for them and being a strong support, knowing that you won't crack with them being vulnerable, or you can support them to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
If they then say, I need help with ABC, what would I do in ABC? If they ask for advice or they ask for your help,
Then you can provide it.
yeah, then you go, okay, this is what I would do, or I'll help organize this. You know, I'll get this done for you. But until that question comes up, and I've only learned this in the last 18 months. You know, thank you to my partner. You know, I was like patching everything and wanted to fix her problems. She's like, don't fix my problems.
Jordan, fuck off.
Yeah. Do not fix my problems. You're not my mentor.
Yeah.
You're not my sage. You're not my guide. You're not a fucking guru. You're here as my partner to support me.
Yeah.
And
Be my rock.
That started, I guess, I started seeing that in all areas, with my coaching, you know, with my mates, you know, not always giving my advice, my 2 cents in things, because you get to a point where you get educated and feel like you're of value, and then you want to tell everyone. But no one wants to hear your shit.
Oh, that resonates deep. I know I ramble on sometimes, eh?
Yeah. And it's hard. It's a big ego check, because you can see the answer, but it's not their answer. It's your answer.
Of course.
So when they come to you with a question, that's an invitation for your answer. But they haven't opened up for it. They just want you to be there. Maybe it's a hug. Maybe you just sit with them quietly. Maybe you just check in on them. How you doing? You know, like making sure you're there for them as a foundation.
That's
Then
cool.
from there, once they're ready and they're willing to start making changes, they will ask, hey man, like I need to improve my eating. I just fucking eat like shit. What do you eat? Okay, sweet. Now's go time.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's mental health, it's like, man, I'm done with it. I need help. Yeah. What would you do? What did you do on your journey? Okay, sweet. This is what I recommend. come and try this, come and do this, I'll show you through this.
Mm.
So then we lead into like a willing acceptance of education or willing acceptance of being led through the journey, but also you inspiring them without actually forcing them into what you think's right for them. And it's really cool process to go through on yourself, because you also, I've learned in myself to give myself more space. You know, I think discipline is very important, but I actually think there's a lot of people out there that are in negative relationships with discipline.
Yeah.
They're doing things out of resent against themselves. Go and fucking train because you're a fat piece of shit and you're not fucking strong enough. You know, don't eat that donut because, you know, it's like, man, if you're doing it pretty well all the time, you're winning. Like, success is not exponential. It's up and down, up and down. And so, especially with exercise, you know, have a day off. It's okay.
You need a day off.
Yeah.
You need your body to recover.
Have a couple of days off.
Yeah.
Have a week off.
I took a week off.
See how you feel.
Dude, I took a week off in the Gold Coast with my missus, spent some time, had an amazing time. Cup's full. I come back. I lift the heaviest I ever have in the gym.
Yeah, man. Yep.
You know, go figure.
Yeah. And it's this discipline. I was there for 10 years, man. 4 a.m., 3:50 wake up. Ugh. If I woke up after 3:50, I was a bitch. You know, I would it was like no alarm.
Was this cold showers as well? 3:50?
Cold showers, yep. It's
Holy.
like as soon as that alarm, not no alarm, I'll make that correction. As soon as the first alarm goes off, I jump out of bed.
Yeah. Yep.
So no snooze, because I was in that when I was a teenager, snooze. So, yeah, it was like one alarm, get the fuck out of bed, get in a cold shower. It's like 10 years.
Yeah.
And just recently getting the business. And I think there's a point where someone needs that, like, go.
Of course,
and build the habit. But then you also get to the point where maybe you just need to actually enjoy life a little bit. So it is a balance. And it's a conversation that needs to happen with people. You know, and so now I'm enjoying, you know, waking up at 5, going for a walk with my partner and my dog, you know, and not being, you know, but then sometimes sleeping in till 8, you know, if I need the sleep, you know, not just being like dogmatic. So yeah, it's so important,
dude. It's funny. I keep meeting and talking to people, right? I feel like at the exact right time, because you saying this again, this only just recently popped up because I heard, oh man, what's Stoic Juggler's name?
Connor. Yep.
Connor Desmond. So I heard Connor on Humung Beans, and he said something around the fact that everyone's so, I'm probably going to murder this, but everyone's so bothered by always doing something they forget to just be, like to just, you know, just exist and do nothing sometimes and just enjoy life. And that one line, whatever he said, it just resonated big time for me. I was like, you know what? I'm always trying to do shit. I'm always trying to do something. And exactly what you just said then, I still have my habits, my disciplines that I stick to. But you're right. If you don't do it for a day, who cares? It's one day, 2 days, whatever it is. Sometimes you need to listen to your body too, right? So I love all the stuff you talk about, man. But I would love to take it back to where did this all start? Like that, obviously that night happened. But then why did you become a coach?
So that's only half the journey.
Oh.
You said we had a couple of hours, don't we?
Dude, go deep.
So, I nearly drove into that tree that night and then just wrecked me emotionally. Like, that was the tipping point for me. I was sitting in my room. I'm like, this sucks. This is no good. I need to change something. So, anyway, I spoke to my physio. I'm like, when can I run? Like, I need to drop this weight. When can I run? He's like, oh, you got a couple of weeks, right? So he cleared me to run, and then I dropped the weight. I was just like so determined at 16, nearly 17 years old to get back to being fit. So determined, lost the weight. And then I had this thing of like, fuck, that was really easy. I just lost like 20 kilos really quickly.
How long do you reckon was that?
Oh man, I could butcher this. Let me think about it. I reckon it was maybe 3 months. Man, I was like...
That's doable.
I was like hammering myself. You know, 10K runs every day. I was doing stairs,
Was nutrition much of it?
No,
like, did you know anything
man.
about it?
I was a 17-year-old, still eating like shit.
Yeah.
But I was doing so much output that I lost weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't healthy, but I lost weight.
You were just in a calorie deficit all the time.
Yeah. And, so I went, oh, man, I want to teach people how to lose weight. That was fucking easy.
Right.
It's that simple.
That's cool. Yeah, perfect way.
And so I got my PT certs. Shout out to my grandma for sponsoring me.
Nice.
She asked me, do you want to go to university? What do you want to do? Because I graduated school, failed. Oh, I didn't graduate school. Failed year 12. She said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to trade? Do you want to do this? And I was doing a chippy apprenticeship at the time. Bailed out of that. It was just no good. Wasn't happy just banging nails into wood every day. And so I started bricky labour.
Oh, even better.
It's better money.
Yeah.
And so I was doing labour for a brickie, and my grandma said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to university? I believe you have some intelligence, and do you want to express it, as she would have said back then?
Nice.
And I'm like, I think I want to be a personal trainer. And she goes, oh, okay, cool. So I did my PT certs, and then I started working out with Snap Fitness, and complete rookie, just little circuit training, doing this, writing meal plans for clients and shit,
Yeah.
Googling.
2,000 calorie diet.
No, not even that much. It
Oh,
was
right.
Googling 40-year-old female diet and just give you a tool. Man, I was young, man.
Hey, yeah.
And it's a really good, I guess, example of the lack of education in the surf.
I was going to say, that's a great example.
Yeah, because I felt I could go out and train people.
Yeah, you were ready.
But I was not ready, man.
Yeah.
I was so far, and it's not even in my lane to be giving that new. It should be absolute no go. You cannot tell someone what to eat. You have to refer them to a nutritionist or a dietitian.
Of course, yeah.
But I just, obviously didn't get that message.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, cool. I'm a personal trainer, so I can tell you what to eat.
I do what I want.
So, anyway, started PTing clients then. And I got sucked, and this is the next chapter, which will lead to where I'm at now. I got sucked into the whole PT world of, train during the week, and then on the weekend, go out, party, tight shirts, chase chicks, build muscle, be lean, but chew your face off, pingers, MDMA on the weekend.
Yeah, you can't drink, can you? Because you don't want to...
No, I drank.
Yeah.
My motto was, train hard and then party harder.
Of course, yeah.
That was the culture that I was in. It's
I feel like the culture's still the same.
Yeah, it is. 100%. 24-hour gyms, good life and stuff. It's yep, you train right, you get macros right, sweet, yep, and then obliterate yourself on the weekend and try and get laid.
Yeah. Go show off that body.
So, deep in that culture, which was also consumed with, heavy drug taking, bullshit, no good, because I was also emotionally not in a good place. I think I've reflected on it, and I think it comes down to morals and values, because I hadn't taken the time to understand what I wanted from life, so I was just doing what everyone else was doing, and it was fun and an absolute ball of a time on the weekend, but then Monday I felt like shit. And yes, it's the chemistry of, being intoxicated and having a come down, but I think at a deeper level, you're also not living your truth. So you have this Groundhog Day every Monday of fuck, I did it again.
Yeah.
Went out there, I blew all my money. I got no more money in my account for the week. I'm going to have to eat Weet-Bix again. And it was just this crazy cycle. And so I was in this, festivals every weekend, clubbing. You'd save up for festivals, go away for 3 days, get cooked as a chook. Of
course.
Don't sleep.
What was your go-to club?
Oh, man.
240V?
Nah, so Brisbane.
Oh, you're in Brizzy, that's right. Yeah,
Brisbane.
Yeah.
So Bowler. The Bowler bar was deep house, dungy, blacked out. You just drink Patron and and get so sideways. So we it's not a great part of my story, but it's a relevant part.
It's part of your story.
My nickname was Cerebral Potsy because I used to get, into retarded levels.
Yeah, right.
And it's really, it is kind of funny on the surface.
But it's bad, yeah.
Oh man, that was my nickname, and I was I used to get so drugged up that people would be like, who's looking after him?
Yeah, right.
And deep down, I was kind of depressed enough thinking, this isn't my truth, but I'm having fun when I'm intoxicated. So I'll just keep getting intoxicated so I can run away from the week.
Mm.
And it's this weird concept because everyone else is doing it. Or if you're with your mates, you're around your mates, they're doing it. It's fun. It's culturally accepted. You know, you're getting attention from girls. You know, like me and my mates were the funniest fuckers in the club. Like mullets, party shirts. We just to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah. You're just having a sick time.
Yeah, and you know, it was fun. You felt like you were kings, like running around, running amok, just having fun with your mates. But then the other side of it was you're actually not happy.
Yeah.
That was my side of it. I wasn't happy at a deep position in myself, but on the surface I was loose and having fun. So yeah, I got to a point where I was really, really heavily, you know, like started doing drugs really badly. Like I remember going to festivals and having like 15 to 16 caps on a day, being like so bad, taking drugs and just chasing this like next level. Like, I'll go more. It was like competition. And at a Splendor one year, another like rattling part of the story. At a Splendor one year, I was really torn up about my mum's health, and I was feeling really shit about where I was. And I wasn't happy. And I knew that if I just got completely rattled or wrecked, drugged up, intoxicated, that I could forget it all for a bit. And yeah, I went into like cerebral mode, just full crazy. And the boys said, I was running around. There's this massive tree at Splendor. Have you been to Splendor?
Where was it?
So, you know, as
at
you
Byron?
walk, you walk up into the auditorium, amphitheatre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's that huge tree.
Yeah, right.
So, excuse me.
You're right.
So, yeah, I was like, we're climbing that tree. And I like started scaling this tree, jumping from branch to branch like a monkey because I was in another
jacked
world.
up, yeah.
And got to the top and slipped. It was just raining as well. Slipped, fell, branch broke something, fell, pinballed my way 10 meters down the tree and then landed on the ground. And I luckily landed on my legs, so I blew my hip out and then went into an epileptic fit, started convulsing. Like I was fully out of it, had foam coming out of my mouth and everything. And yeah, they rushed me to hospital, put me into a induced coma. And 3 days later, I woke up and my dad was looking at me and he was like, man, are you all right? Like, you're still alive. What's going on? You know, like kind of shocked, you know, so happy that I'd come to.
Yeah, you'd come through, yeah. But Jesus, imagine seeing your son in that sort of state, right? Like,
man,
you're probably lucky that you did pinball down the tree. Like, if that was a straight drop,
yeah.
do you survive that?
Yeah, and I mean that I landed on my legs as well.
Yeah.
You know, I could have landed on my head, broke my neck.
Yeah.
So all this stuff. And they said because I was so intoxicated that I would have just been like mashed potato and I was so like relaxed. But yeah, they worried I had like bleeding on the brain and all maybe brain damage. So put me in a coma and then I need to take a breath again.
Yeah, man. Take your time.
It always rattles me, this journey, eh? But I'll come back to gratitude and I'm like so grateful that I'm here. It's hectic.
You're right, bro. Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's not so much that it's just crazy to reflect on life.
Does it bring back the emotions that
Yeah.
like because your subconscious doesn't realize time, right? So
yeah, I always feel, and this is the first time in a long time that this has challenged me, and I think it's because I'm becoming more aware in life. So when I retell the story, I actually know the effect of it.
Yeah, and where it led you now.
Yeah, but more importantly, the impact it has on the people around you when you're not living your best, you know? So, you know, for instance, my mate's girlfriend at the time she didn't follow us up the tree, so she was there. She watched me hit the deck. So it was like traumatic for her to watch. All the boys were like, Potty's dead. Like went home from the festival, like, you should have seen him. He got, you know, they didn't know what was going on. My parents and my dad experiencing that. yeah, my brother looking up to like his older brother, going like, "What's this dude doing?"
Yeah.
You know, like being a really bad role model for my brother and my sister, and then not being nice to my sister. Yeah, man,
It's a lot, dude.
it's full on. It is. It's just
But these are the things, right? Like you doing this right now and being vulnerable is so important because, but I actually feel kind of cool right now because I'm like, you must feel comfortable around me too, to be able to say that. So, but like you said, obviously you're understanding yourself more and you're becoming more comfortable with telling these stories and, you know, which is good. But dude, it's a lot to, it's still a lot to deal with for sure.
It's interesting because previously I've kind of like told these stories with a bit of a badge on.
Yeah.
And I haven't done a podcast in a while, but you know, sitting here with you, and I know you know, you're in this space where you kind of accept people to feel and speak about things. And I'm also at a point where I'm very aware of others. Like I'm increasing my awareness as a human being so that I'm not so egocentric. I'm not doing things for me. And that rattles you sometimes when you realize the behavior. You know, I think about all of the people that, you know, I was nasty to or trauma, you know, fuck man, used to yell shit all the time at women in clubs and whatever. And if anyone ever challenged me, just shut the fuck up. Like, I'd lose my shit.
There's male insecurities.
Yeah. And that kind of rocks you to realize you've been a dick in the past.
I think we all have, man. I think you have to go through it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting space to feel. And this is what, you know, kind of was speaking about on the Human Beings podcast. It's like we want to make things better. We're so focused on making things better instead of being better at feeling. So instead of just always trying to fix it, like I need to make this problem better, how about you actually feel the problem? So give yourself a second to experience the problem and the emotion without just sweeping under the rug or trying to fix it straight away. So, yeah, I'm sitting into this now because I have so much appreciation for the people around me, especially the strong women in my life. And I've treated women like shit previously, like in my later teens and early 20s. So it kind of just buckles me a bit.
Yeah, because you would like to think that person was not you, right? You look back and you wish that so much that you were how you are now for your whole life. Yeah. But do you think that you get to this point where you are now without being that guy, you know? Like I think that's the important part of it.
I think that journey was definitely meant for me. And I do think we have the potential to educate, you know, young men to be more respectful, to be better services to themselves, be fit for service for their loved ones, and then contribute to their community in a positive way without being a dick.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to go through like crazy trauma and drug episodes and being a fuckwit to know the other side. I think we can start to be the examples, you know, and that's what I see myself is I'm the example of I was that douchebag and now I see myself being of service to others and really contributing in a positive way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at. But I woke up out of that coma and this will, you know, link it right back.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And Dad said, you know, what's doing? And I kind of went, I need to change. Like I woke up out of that coma and I knew straight away that between my 10-year-old self and the day when I was 23 and woke up out of that coma, that 13 years, I'd got distracted from that superhero archetype.
Yeah.
Something had gone wrong. I wasn't living day to day like a superhero. I was living like a villain.
You know? Yeah. You weren't living your truth.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of just, it was just like this thing in my subconscious that I want to be a superhero again. And yeah, we can't fly unless you get a wingsuit and go and learn to do it. But what does a superhero look to me in day-to-day life? Emotional regulation, energy, focus, contribution, helping others, you know, being a good role model for the public and for being satisfied with who I am. And that really, inspired me to start learning at a deeper level. I had a Cert 3 and 4, but I wasn't getting good results with my clients.
You wanted more to it.
Yeah, I wasn't even getting good results with myself because I was flogging the shit out of myself with HIIT training and no sleep, no rest, no recovery, poor nutrition. Now, it's like superheroes don't spend the weekends drugged up being clowns. Like, that's not where I want to be. So I had to break away from a friendship group. I had to break away from, my current environment because I had to reshape my identity. I knew I had to. It was like I had to get out of the clothes I was currently wearing and start putting on the new ones. Start putting on a new frame of mind every day so I could start building these foundations of what I wanted. And it was going to take some work because I was in a pretty stuck place. So,
and how old were you at that time?
23.
23. So that's still pretty early in life. So
5 years ago.
It's only 5 years that's taken to go from that
we're
to
talking
this.
Before
that's
the
right,
podcast.
Man.
So it's literally the last 5 years. It's just been completely building that new identity.
Yeah. Dude, real quick, I'm going to turn this fan off because it's cold as hell.
Oh, man, I was like...
I thought it was just me, and I was like, I wonder if what's his feeling saying. That's cool.
All right, sweet. I'm glad. I didn't know whether we're going to go through uninterrupted.
No, dude, I don't care. I won't edit it. We'll keep it raw.
You're always doing a podcast thinking, man, like, is this unedited or what? So,
yeah. Nah, there's like...
I'm happy with raw.
I think one thing I've edited because I sounded like a complete idiot. So I just like, I'll cut that 5 seconds out. That's about it. But most of the time I'll just leave it as is, keep it real organic.
Raw's good because I was going to ask you to turn the aircon and fan off because I was starting to get cold.
I could feel myself, and then I saw you do a little like shiver. I was like, ooh, probably should.
That's my trigger.
Nah, cool.
Start doing some breath work.
Yeah. So obviously, you're 23. You're like, yep, I need to change. Who is it? Where's the catalyst for that journey now?
So
this is where it gets good.
Yeah. All right. We'll get on the good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dude, it's all been amazing so far. So you're doing good.
I'm just like the positive growth. Coming out the hero's journey out the other side. So I decided I needed to get away from my mates at the time. They're all fucking epic dudes. Like they've got the best hearts. They're friendly guys, but they were caught in the same rut as me. Like take drugs, chase chicks, and I could see that if I hung around with that, I couldn't really break away. So I actually decided to move to Melbourne, pack my car, drove to Melbourne, started working down in Melbourne in a gym down there, and then also was I moved there for this internship at Woodford Sports Science. So I was doing the 6-month internship to learn kind of like the in-house application of proper sports science. And so I did 6 months with them, and I decided to go cold turkey. There's this huge stigma around Melbourne, like revs and partying and all this stuff. Cold turkey. Didn't take a single bar of it. Got offered, met some friends out that come out drinking, let's go party. No, I'm studying. So for that 6 months, I was just disciplined on reading, listening, consuming, educating, uplifting myself. Got some really good skills, and then had an awesome time down there. And my time was coming to an end in the internship, and I realized that I didn't want to stay in Melbourne. It wasn't right my vibe. And so I decided to move back to Queensland and start my own gym. Like I was like, I need to start. Well, not my own gym. I'm going to start my own program. Yeah. I'm not going to work for a gym and their program. I'm actually going to be my own coach.
Develop your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was getting ready to take off, and I met this girl, and she fully caught me. Just got me so captured. And that was Nicola. So I met her down in Melbourne, and I just knew there was something inside of me that it was like we had this energy, right? It's like they say, it felt so authentic, and it was like a really passion. It wasn't like, she might say otherwise. She probably says it's lust, but
yeah.
that was, I was really drawn to her. And then, we started seeing each other just the last week before I was leaving. And, she actually heard that I was in the session at the gym. I said, like, hey, I'm moving back to Queensland next week. Thanks you all for training. And she was on a trial. And she's like, fuck, I'm not coming back to this gym. This coach is all right. Like, this is the only reason I've been coming on this trial. Anyway, then we linked up. Like, ended up messaging her. And I don't know how. Something. I followed her up like, hey, how was your trial at Exhibition Street or whatever?
Smooth.
Yeah, and she's like, hey, is this Jordan from the gym? I'm like, yeah, and she like messaged me on my private profile.
Oh.
And I'm like, whoa, there we go. And like that was definitely my intention.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And so then that led to, us seeing each other for that couple of weeks just before I left. And then when I left, I was like, man, I really want to continue seeing that girl. Like there's something about that.
Yeah.
So I moved back to the coast and started Exalto. Started coaching at the time, like field sport based athletes. And that was like my passion at the time. I was like really giving athletes that upper edge. And so I had a few mates train out of a gym up there, and Nick and I started doing a long distance relationship, and that lasted. And we did that for like 9 months while I was building Exalto. So yeah, we had a good crack at that. She eventually decided. I told her that I wasn't coming back to Melbourne because it just wasn't my vibe, and she was ready to. She'd been in Melbourne for 10 years, and she was ready to kind of move on from there. She was thinking Sydney or whatever. Ended up Brisbane, and and then I had some really good energy around the coaching that I had started with the boys, and I got a really good opportunity to start this little gym, like in a 50 square meter gym.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for a gym. I just want to be a coach.
Yeah.
And then I had an event with Real Movement, and I remember at that event we kind of talked about what the next 5 years would look like. And in that next 5 years, I didn't see myself just being a coach. I saw myself owning a facility and providing people new education instead of what I had seen in the gyms around here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've got to do it. This is a reason I've been gifted this opportunity to go into a gym. I don't feel like I'm ready for it, but it's a part of the vision, so I'm just going to take it and dive in. Anyway, so yeah, Nicola was in Brisbane, and she was helping getting that started. But basically, I got this little 50 square meter box at the. Have you been to the gym?
No.
Anyway,
Like the new one?
Yeah. So have you seen Corrective Culture on Instagram? So that little box is where I started.
Yeah, right.
And we packed that out pretty quickly with members, and then the landlord, our landlord goes, oh, do you want the whole space? It's up for grabs. And so it was like 50 square meters, and I was on free rent because I was training his kids. So like that was like the contra. I was like, I'll train your kids.
That's
you can have the space.
Yeah.
And you can co-share the shed. And then he's like, right, do you want the whole shed? I'm like, all right, so I'm going from free 50 square meters to 400 square meter with like an annual lease.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is getting serious. I'm like, all right. Nick and I sat down, we looked at it, and we evaluated if we had some value to give. And I'm like, I believe we can really, really, change and help some movement on the coast with people with holistic health.
Yep.
Like looking at things differently instead of just beating yourself up and, going out on the weekend or whatever, or even just that the mindset of just flog yourself at training.
Just get shredded. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but also like CrossFit, HIIT, in boot camps, like just beat yourself up every day, like go home,
you need to be sore.
Train the hardest every single session. That mentality is out there. So, I had this vision for mobility, strength, breath work, ice baths, nutrition,
like mindset stuff,
meditation.
Yep.
Really giving people that like underlying foundations of holistic health, not fitness, health.
Two very different things, right?
Because fitness is a part of being healthy.
Yep.
If you're fit, good, but it doesn't mean you're healthy. So it was like,
see a lot of big jacked up dudes that just have the worst like gut health.
And skin and even their like mental health and stuff.
They're always aggressive or something. Not saying everyone is, but it's pretty common.
There's a stigma around it. So we had this vision. All right, let's go into this big space and let's make it happen. Anyway, it's been 3 years there. So the goal with Exalto is to really educate people, but also give them the space where they can see health.
Yeah.
They can learn health. And it's not fitness focused. So, our members aren't told that they have to train every day. And they're not told that they have to come and flog themselves and they have to get their heart rate to, they have to get red on the screen or, there's no focus like that. Focus is come in and move intuitively. If your nervous system is ready for a bit of an effort, good, it's go time. Lift heavier, put in more effort, focus, But if you're feeling like shit, if your nervous system's down, you're going to need to go a bit slower, go through the motions, do some technique, use the breath work that we use every session to down regulate.
Yep.
And learn to start nurturing your body, which also includes growth of pain, but it's not always that. So yeah, it's a really cool space to have built and see how it's progressed from, just focusing on field-based sport athletes to now being like, okay, now I value health more. And I think it's because I've evolved out of sport as well. I don't even watch sport anymore. I watch surfing every now and then.
Yeah. Do you feel like you even have the time to be able to sit down and watch TV and stuff?
Well, that's probably the thing. We don't have a TV.
Oh, dude.
And I don't like going to pubs anymore.
Yep.
And there's not many places that you watch TV apart from pubs or in your home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you're going to watch sport.
See, we're in the same sort of space where, I'm the same, man. I don't really have the time, but what I do love doing is I'm still a bit of a gamer. I've been a gamer my whole life. For me, it is a form of meditation. It brings me to the present. Yeah. I'm focusing on...
And you switch off time.
Yeah, I'll just chill. I don't game for 8 hours or whatever like I used to, but, time for Tams and I, we might lay in bed and watch a TV series, a couple of series, like stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm not watching news.
Just
I'm not
balance.
watching... Yeah. And, but I love that. I love that you have made this adjustment, and it's been a really short time, man, like 5 years to go from you first started out, you're going to train, you're going to do athletes, etc., and then you've gone into this holistic side of things. And I feel like you're still developing. Like you're still...
Oh, man.
There's so much more.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, far out. It's exciting. But, what's the next step? So now that you're doing all this stuff, moving forward, I guess the biggest thing is what sort of impact do you want to have? Do you want to have it on a Australia-wide level, worldwide level, Sunshine Coast-wide level? Like, because I feel like you're getting right now you've got your social media stuff, which is awesome. I love your content. I love what you talk about and that sort of thing. So I guess at that level you're hitting a few different, platforms. But do you see Exalto expanding to a point where it's in different states and you want to keep it here?
So when we started, we were like, yeah, sweet, holistic brand, let's get it up, franchise it, go gangbusters. Like every person starting business, it's going to go worldwide.
Yeah. Prestige, bro. Oh, cheers. Man. Yeah, that's good. Of course, you have world domination in hand.
Yeah, and it's the ego part of you, like building a business.
Of course.
But then you get a chance to reflect on management, like back end, and how to actually build a business and keep it sustainable.
Yeah.
And now I see Exalto Holistic Hub just being like a hub on the coast, it's a space where people all around I get messages all the time. Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. When are you going to open up an Exalto here? People want this stuff.
Of course.
But I don't have the energy to prioritize, to put my priorities in expanding that worldwide or global or even countrywide. So I'm going to, plan is keep it in Sunshine Coast and really develop it so that it's a well-oiled machine that people can come to us and get, a really digestible pathway and an approachable pathway to achieve better health.
Of course.
So this is like everything, their whole experience from the minute they message us like, I'm just a lead, to, hey guys, my 2-3 years with you has been amazing and I'm moving on and thank you very much. What that experience looks like. So that's where my energy's at with that business. What I get excited about though is starting to do events around Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously with COVID, that's going to keep me in Australia for now and who knows how many years that'll be, but starting to do breath work and ice bath events around Australia. I've got this thing in the background I'm working on. So many people want it, man.
Yep.
And what I've realized is the mentors you learn under want you to succeed.
Of course.
That's why they're teaching you. So it's the realization you have that their information and energy that they've passed on to you can be expressed through you in your unique way. Yeah. So I've learned from, Keegan has been one massive mentor, and we can go into mentors later, but Keegan from Real Movement, so training and philosophy. Wim Hof, breath work. Troy Casey, breath work. Nam Baldwin, breath work. Ben Patrick, training. Like all of these guys that have really helped me, and things like Business Co and Ray, Tony Robbins, all that stuff. Like I've got all of that energy in me.
Yep.
And I need to express it in my own way with my own little niche. And that's what I'm super excited about is giving people experiences around the country. And I've got some really cool ones.
Hey, that's
in the
exciting,
pipeline.
man.
So yeah, like my goal is to do these events where people can come and learn from me about what I've learned to change my life and has been so monumental in shifting my perspective and lens and giving me the opportunity and ability to honestly take charge of my own life.
Yeah.
Like control the way I want to live and start to manifest and bring things into your energy and get into a creative space instead of a slavery space.
Yep.
Instead of just waking up on that Groundhog Day of, I'm just day in, day out, same shit.
Driving to work, yeah.
Can't wait for the weekend so I can go to my favorite cafe and do, have my little escape. It's like every day you should build a life that you don't want to escape. Yeah? It's like we should all be building lives that we don't want to escape. That would just fix mental health. What does it look like for you not to escape?
What's your perfect day?
Yeah.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Work on making that happen.
Yeah, and work towards it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited to do those events around the country, which are in the pipeline. Can't release any
No.
details yet because it's still early on.
He's going to tell me behind the scenes later.
Yeah. So yeah, super excited for that.
Cool. And is it just going to be you, or are you going to create a little team that you can take around and stuff? Or was that part of the stuff you can't talk about?
It will be a team because these events are going to be fucking epic.
Yes. Oh, man, that is awesome.
Like these events are like, it's awesome. You get to this point, like we've built Exalto and now we're actually creating the foundations. Unfortunately, now what I know with business, the foundation should be first and then you should have the idea on top.
And then you scale up.
We started with the idea on top with no foundations. And so thank you to everyone who's been through those 4 walls in the last 3 years who've gone like, oh, these guys have the vision, but they don't have the foundations. It's not for us. Like, thank you guys for supporting us and spending a couple of months with us.
Yep.
Now it's about how does this project or vision for people to achieve really good health actually sustain them to a 5-year mark, to a 10-year mark, And so that's a really cool process, is developing the back end, like putting my business hat on and thinking about how can this better serve people long term.
Yep.
Instead of just going, we're a gym, come to a trial, sick man, and then a couple around that like, well,
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like these guys have passion, and I feel like so many people in the fitness industry have passion, but don't have the business knowledge to see it out.
100%, dude.
And
I'm seeing that. Like, it's bad.
And then also, unfortunately, people with passion who get burnt out. They have this idea, this vision, and it ends up being the crux of them going like, fuck, I can't make it work.
Yeah, because they might have just needed that little bit of help from like a mentor or something.
Oh man, it's what I'm learning now is so simple. It's really so simple, but you have to apply your personal growth, everything you've learned about whatever the passion is, you have to apply that same energy into building the foundations.
Because the systems, the
systems
basics.
and processes. Yeah.
100%.
So, that's where I'm at with Exalto. And we're building a really epic team there, like in the background as well, not just like the coaches on the front hand, like who deliver the service, but also, the whole foundation of the business.
Yeah.
And then, being in alliance with Corrective Culture Boys and having Sage upstairs, he's a killer physio. Like it's evolving into the hub I wanted it to be on day one.
Of course,
It's taken,
but off the back of all the other basic stuff you're doing behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah. So
how awesome is it, but for Cal and Jakey to pop up? Like,
oh man,
dude, I recommend that every time I'm in a Rebel, someone's talking about, oh, my feet hurt, my knees hurt, whatever. I'm like, dude, go to Corrective Culture, go to Exalto. Like, I'm happy to just gasp other brands up or businesses that I know are going to change lives. Obviously, I want to be one of those people eventually in a different sort of space. But man, I don't see competition in any way. I see
No
people
way.
that are going to change people's lives.
How many people on the coast?
And actually,
Try and fit them all in.
millions?
Try and fit them all in four walls. Like,
Dude, no.
man,
there's
that-
so
like-
much.
that whole concept of competition is a fallacy, and it's created so much divide within industries. Like, honestly, you can't service everyone on the coast,
No.
and someone who vibes your coaching won't vibe mine, and someone who doesn't vibe you will vibe me. So why don't we help whoever needs to be helped,
Exactly.
and we'll find her, and instead of being like, who's better, bro?
But that comes down to, I think, the basic human, our lizard brain. It's the jealousy,
Survival.
the envy, the survival. It's
Yeah.
the, I want what he's got. It's all the same stuff, man. And unfortunately, it does leach into business. It leaches into everything.
Yeah.
It's just who people are and what people are. But obviously not everyone. But yeah, dude, it's exciting to see what you're building. And it's crazy. I don't know if I've told you this story. I may have. But I think I told Josh. But essentially, And now this has been a combination of the last few years of shit just happening at the right time for me, not to me, and at the weirdest times. And I could write a book about it and still wouldn't make sense. And I remember I was on this journey, all these cool shit's happening, I'm meeting cool people, I'm developing, whatever. Then I said to Tamara one day, I was like, "Oh, check this dude out. I love his content." It was on social media. It was you. I seen this Yoda strength. I don't even know why you came up. Maybe it was a sponsored ad or something. But I was like, man, I love his stuff. I love what he's talking about. I'd never heard of Real of Movement or Carnivore or all this other cool shit. I was like, what is this? And I started diving deeper. And I said to her, it was literally the Tuesday, I go, I really want to meet this guy at some point. And guess when I met you? Literally that
markets.
weekend, that fucking same week,
Yeah, right.
Andy Heaton calls me the night before. He's like, bro, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Come to the markets. And initially, my old anxious brain was like, oh, no. What's an excuse that I don't have to go? Because I used to get super nervous about going places.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing was that I cared about what everyone thought. So I always had to be impressive everywhere I went. I mean, I don't give a fuck anymore, but that was my whole thing. But I was like, nah. But then I thought, nah, I'll just go. This is where I change, I do my thing. Sure enough, next day, you and Nicola walk up. All right, the energy was unreal. I could tell straight away we were going to vibe. And then you invite me and my mate over that day to your house.
Yeah.
And we're doing...
Breath work.
Oh, dude. For my mate Christian that came with us, that was very out of his comfort
I could
zone.
tell.
So you could tell. You don't know him,
Yeah,
but you could tell.
Even you were out. He comes over, and you were like that 6 out of 10. You're like, I'm on the
I'm
fence
here, but I'm not sure.
but I don't know he was like 1.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? We're sitting on towels in someone's backyard, about to do some breathing.
He's doing the look arounds, like giving little giggles and stuff.
I could feel it.
But
I
I
love that shit.
I loved that he came because I had to force him almost because I was like, dude, I know this is going to benefit you because his biggest thing is getting out of his comfort zone. But I think he benefited heaps from that. I know I did that day, man, helped heaps. But it's just funny that, the people that you end up networking with and becoming around and creating that circle that's like super supportive and just helping you grow. That made me realize that, shit, if I'm open to this, I'm just going to keep meeting cool people. And I swear, I scored a second job out of it, literally meeting someone at Rebel, who's now my best mate, Bo, who owns 360 Gym. It's gyms on a trailer. We sell it worldwide, and that was just from being open to meeting a new human being that had the same vibration about him. We just connected and I just went with it. So, I just thought I'd throw that story in there because I was
so
like...
funny because I remember that day so well because Phoebe got some good shots.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I use them quite a lot. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
fuck, that day was so sick because it was in COVID and everyone was, there was weird shit going on when it was like first COVID. And
bro, I was in a really bad space too.
yeah, and Andy and it's Jesse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stayed at our place and he was like, man, I've been wanting to do an ice bath for ages. And I'm like, dude, I got an ice bath out the back. And he's like, oh, kidding. And so, we're like, and then next day I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it breath work. And then we started talking. I'm like, come around. And you guys are like, what?
Oh, dude, yeah. My initial, my old Trav was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know this dude. I'm doing that. And then I was like, yeah, no, it's got to happen. So
Yeah, I love being the spontaneity in that.
yeah,
It's like
it has to happen.
And it feels right in the moment. Just follow that curiosity because so many people we have these. It's like your intuition. We have this curiosity, and a lot of people, oh no, maybe it's not for me. There's a reason you're curious. Follow it because you'll either learn that it's not for you, or you'll learn that this is the best thing ever. And that's the beautiful thing about your curiosity is we're all curious for a reason. And if it's not going to like kill you, just some breathing, some ice.
Dude, what's the worst that can happen? Literally, you're like, oh, you might walk away and be like, no, that was weird. And then you never think of it again. But I came out of it like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then went down a path of, obviously, I'm not going to say I do all the breathing all the time and ice baths and stuff, because I don't. Because I'm like, I know myself, who I am. I understand myself more and I embrace it. I embrace what I can commit to, discipline-wise and habits-wise, and I'm happy. My life's good.
What do you do a lot of?
What I do a lot of is I'm consistently learning, no matter what, every single day. It's podcasts, it's studying, it's reading things, it's reading books. Like I've got books sitting everywhere. But then teaching. So I love learning and then giving.
Passing it on.
Yeah, because otherwise, one, it helps me learn it better. But two, I just feel good doing it. That, I don't know if it's an oxytocin release when you providing help to others. Can't remember whether that's correct or not.
Oxytocin's a love chemical. So it is probably dopamine. Because dopamine's like an achievement.
Yeah, of course.
Like giving and, you're ticking. Because dopamine's, you get dopamine release when you do something you love doing and repeat it. Yeah. It's like repetition.
Yeah.
So I think off the top of my head, that's dopamine.
Sounds about right.
But oxytocin is just being around other people. So
yeah, like this sort of stuff, right?
So, man, oxytocin is the love chemical. Like that's the shit. That's what brings babies into the world.
Yeah.
Like oxytocin is the incredible chemical that nobody knows about. The people that do understand it. But if you do things that you love more, you are chemically in a balance of love. It's not, love's not some fantasy thing that we just feel. It's literally a chemical. So do things you love more. I mean, we're just talking about, your little flip off business, doing your
Trends and Treasures.
Yeah.
Trends and Treasures, guys. Check it out.
There's some cool stuff coming through. For me, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't give me oxytocin. It's a novelty. I see it. I'm like, oh, it's cool. This is, but I wouldn't want to be doing that as a business. But for me, doing breath work and ice bath, that ticks that box for me. So that's my oxytocin release. Yours is, finding cool stuff and flipping it off and finding those treasures. So I think it's really important, and we go back to talking about our perfect day. Really understand what makes you feel love. And it doesn't have to be a partner. Like, we're not talking about like intimate love, with love for life.
Yeah.
It's important
Friends,
to have
relationships.
First, love yourself and love life. Fall in love with life, and you'll be so surprised what gets attracted to you, because your vibe attracts your tribe. We have these like common terms or sayings that, good vibes, your vibe attracts your tribe, and people are like, oh, you, and they say it's literally scientific. Good vibrations means your being, your heart space, everything is like a pulse, and it's vibrating good. People see it, they feel it. Yeah, and 100%. I say all the time, people go, oh, it's bullshit, good vibes, right? I'm like, what do you mean? If you're in a building and someone walks in who's got like bad juju or bad energy, you can feel it. You're kind of like, oh, this is no good. I want to talk to that guy. Don't need to be here, or it feels a bit off. That's just vibrations. Maybe they're going through something, or they've been traumatized. Like, who knows what they're going through? Don't judge them, but just be aware of the energy. Yeah. And then if someone epic walks in the room who's vibing on, shoulders are back, they're glowing, and you're kind of like, I want to know that motherfucker. Yeah, dude. I want to know what's your name, and you haven't even talked to him yet. But that's the vibration that we're all putting out. And some days you're low, and this is what I mean. This comes back to also Exalta, is we want to educate people that your vibes go up and down, but you're also not victim to your vibes. You can understand them, accept them, process them, and move through them. And then also move towards what you want. You can have certain tools to kind of cultivate different energies. So if you're feeling low, maybe take a day off training, or maybe just do some breath work, some meditation, or maybe go, instead of training that day, go to the beach and have a swim and just lay on the sand for 10 minutes, soak up some sun. It'll do wonders for your energy. Or come to training and just go light. Like, really just move your body, get the physiology happening. Yeah. It's this whole concept of like work harder, grind, never give up, all this shit. I mean, never give up. That's pretty solid on. But then there's also like you've got to surrender at some point.
Of course,
if you're ever gonna learn the power of breath work, you got to be able to let go.
Yeah.
You've literally got to be able to give in to the breath.
Yep.
You don't try and control it. It does its work.
And going off the back of all that stuff, this is where I would love to start. This is where I want to provide the value with this podcast. So it's the technicians, tools, tips, and resources. So we start to break down the things that have worked for you and the things that you teach and everything. And so, dude, if you need to, for the next hour, we just want to talk about, what is mental, like what helps you with your mental health? What sort of tips can we give to everyone? How do we provide better gut health? What sort of nutrition? All those little things. Now, it's going to be hard to sort of go through it one by one, but on a whole, I'd love to hear your breakdown of what creates a healthy human being that you've been creating at Exalto to people that can't get to Exalto or don't live nearby or whatever who's listening. What sort of tips can we provide for them and tools?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Awesome. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, cool. So let's start, man, because I think the most important one, especially this is real close to me, is the mental health side of things. So what are some things that can help us, improve that? Obviously you have your tools, your professional tools, such as psychologists and stuff. I feel like they have their place with some people. Some people don't like psychologists, which is fine. But give us a little bit of a rundown on what you think is what's worked for you, etc.
I think we could break this down into a really digestible piece for people. So we'll take the holistic approach to it, and I'm not just going to put mental health in a box. Yep. It's a part of it all.
It all encompasses.
One thing I've learned from listening to Paul Check and also being around Callan and Jake a lot and understanding the check method a bit more, which I am going to study in the future so I can go deep.
I was going to say it'd be sick for you,
but I've been listening to Paul Check for 4 years now. Like, he's got so much content that you can learn about this stuff from a master, So 4 levels. You've got physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. But they're all the one thing because they're all intertwined. It's not like you can just go, bang, mental health, because they all resonate and integrate with each other.
Right, yep.
So I'm going to break it down. The first thing that I think is the most important thing is breath. It's the first and the last thing we'll ever do. So people,
that's heavy.
What is?
That's cool, yeah. Right? I never thought and it's super basic, right? Like, holy shit, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of go through my protocols.
Okay.
And then I'll divert where we need to. So breath, for me, your breath dictates every single thing in your life, because without it, you'd be dead. So at a really foundational level, if you're not breathing, or if you stop breathing for enough time, you're gone. So let's first look at developing the skills of the breath, or the power and the health within the breath. Now, we know from science, if you have poor breathing patterns, if you're a chest breather, a shallow breather, a stressful breather, all this kind of stuff, you're actually increasing the chemistry in your body to put yourself into poor mental health. So you're more acidic at a blood level, cellular level, versus alkaline, which means you're in a positive state of chemistry.
Yep.
So if you're in an acidic state, you get sick more. You can get chronic illness. You can get autoimmune diseases. You can get lifestyle diseases. You can also get mental health challenges like imbalances in your chemistry. So breathing wrong will actually dictate how we feel. So before we do anything, let's just do the thing that's free and readily available at every second of the day. So breath. So learn how to breathe into your stomach so that you get better oxygen absorption into your blood. You got higher levels of oxygen. What does that mean? More energy, more clarity, more focus, more abundance within your physiology instead of depletion. From there, maybe we need to look at, okay, do you need to calm your mind? Okay, so we use breathwork techniques to calm the mind. Do you need to recover? Do you need to give your nervous system a rest? We have breathwork techniques for that. Do you want to boost your energy? Do you need to pump yourself up? You're feeling a bit flat. Breathwork techniques for that. Do you, there's just, it's so phenomenal, man. And I'm passionate about integrating this work without being woo-woo.
Yeah.
And without being, seen as and all respect to hippies. Like, I've got hippie mates who are just epic. Like, they're fully on that vibe.
Coolest people, man. Yeah.
But without, for most of us in our modern society, that's way too far gone as an identity.
Yeah.
It's woo-woo shit, hippie shit, I can't breathe. You're fucking breathing right now. Like, let's integrate it into schools. Let's integrate it into workplaces. Let's integrate it into family homes. Let's integrate breath into life. Let's understand breath better so we can improve where we're at. And just that's as a foundation, I think, is so critical. So some people to look into for breath and to study would be Wim Hof. First of all, I think he's the most passionate person I've ever known about anything.
Yeah.
That man's story just lights me up.
And you've met him, right?
Yeah, I've done work with him.
Yeah.
And I've still got his energy. As soon as I want, I just bang. I take on his energy.
Yep.
I've got a breathwork workshop coming up this Friday night at Exalto.
Yeah, right.
And I will be teaching a little bit of Wim Hof in there. There's all my breathwork techniques I'll be teaching, but there is a space in there where I talk about it, and it just lights people up, man, because you feel it. That's the breath we did in the backyard that time, and you just feel it. You go, oh, that's a proper change.
Oh, dude, it's next level.
So and this gets me so excited. So if you want to learn a lot about breathwork, I would recommend Wim Hof. Another guy in Australia who's awesome is more performance breathing. Done a lot of works like the Roosters, done some AFL teams, and McFanning, now Baldwin. Mm-hmm. So he's a performance breathwork coach who I've done some work with, and he's absolutely phenomenal. Troy Casey, he's on another level, that dude, but he's on that kind of like hippie vibe, but he's got some really cool techniques that I use that are a bit more, I guess, open-minded, like get you a little bit more feeling kind of that bigger picture stuff instead of just being like focused or performance, let you feel that like lucid, lightheaded, really, it's just such a beautiful, it's like being high on your own supply.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like getting high on oxygen. Down regulation. Dan Brule. So Dan, D-A-N, and then the Brule is B-R-U-L-E. Mm-hmm. He's got a really cool foundation course that he teaches about down regulation and all that kind of stuff as well. Patrick McEwen, Oxygen Advantage. There's so many cool links. But yeah, definitely, if you start with Wim Hof, you'll find other breathwork techniques, because he, for me, is the pinnacle that's leading this forefront of breath exposure to the world, because people, it's a monumental experience where you go, oh shit, that's the power of my breath. So yeah, breath as a starter is just going to help us get into a better physiological level of health.
Yeah. And it's free.
Yeah, it is. It is free. This is bugging my ear. I'm getting a bit of a sore ear.
Oh yeah.
It's all good.
Do you have to move it a little bit more?
Yeah, it was just like, man, is that a pain in my ear? Felt like it was getting squished. It's like literally like all built up to that one point where you feel the pain.
And then it just hits you like, oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, I'm over this. So yeah, breath first, and then if we look at it, instead of what the vehicle is, instead of looking at your body, let's look at the fuel that's going to run it. Mm. Yeah, so there's so many different philosophies on training. It's like, what car do you want to... Okay, let's buy a Lambo, or let's buy a 4B or whatever, a Hilux, but let's just fill it with shit. Let's fuel it with the mud, right? There's no focus on the fuel. So breath for me is so monumental as the first foundation. Let's nail that.
Yep.
Yep. That's going to help with your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, emotional health. It's going to help with all of it. Let's go to nutrition. All right. Now, we won't go deep here because I'm not a nutritionist. For me, what's worked is experimenting outside of the standard Australian diet or the SAD diet.
Which has been the same for years now.
Which is ever since they manipulated the science and basically the food pyramid, which we can obviously see isn't working. And if people still believe it is, tell me why health is getting worse and worse and worse and worse every year since they introduced that. Okay, that's like a standalone argument for me.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's working and it's right, why are we getting more sick?
Yeah.
So start experimenting outside the SAD diet. Now, there's so many different experimentations you can do. I've done vegetarian, I've done vegan, omnivore, I've done carnivore, I've done fasting, all this kind of stuff. For me, carnivore works like nothing else I've ever fucking experienced. It's crazy. When I was vegan, I got really sick and depleted, and I was doing it right too. I wasn't just eating packaged foods. Like I was doing it right. And
like organic stuff and all that sort of thing, or
and no like chemicals and shit. Packaged food. Like I feel like we can get so caught up in
that. Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. When they do all this fake meat and stuff that they're bringing out. It's like,
just processed food.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that in any diet, even in an omnivore or carnivore. Like I'm not going to go and eat processed meat. Like I'm not going to support factory farming because it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I want quality. So, however you eat, make sure you're eating quality whole foods, not processed from a lab. We don't want to be lab rats. We want to be human beings. So from that, experiment with what works for you. All right. Now, I know people who are vegan. I know people who are vegetarian. I know people carnivore. I know all these kinds of things. The one thing I've got to now is do what works for you, but be aware of whether you're buying into a stigma and a philosophy or a dogmatic approach because you have resonated with the message, and be aware of the results that you're achieving.
Yeah. What's happening to your body?
Yeah. So, you want to, save the animals or whatever, but you're gassy, you've got skin issues, your mental health's decreasing, but you're doing it for, the animals.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Like, animals die either way. Doesn't matter which diet you support. And if you look at the facts, there's a really good way to heal the world, heal the earth, and provide for those that are living on it. And I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come down to you doing your own research and then being very aware of your results.
Yep.
So fuel, put clean fuel into the car so you can actually use the Lamborghini. No point having a Lamborghini and chucking canola oil in there because it's just going to shit itself.
Actually, just to break down that a little bit more, just because I know a few people might resonate with how this is worded. I know a lot of people love the whole like eat your macros, calories out. It's all simple, whatever. But what I'm seeing now, especially on TikTok and all that other shit, they're all like, oh, here's a low calorie snack you can have. But they're not talking about what's the quality of that calorie, because not every calorie is equal.
Yeah, well, what is the okay, so it's all about calories, but what is it? Flip it over, read the ingredients. Oh, I don't know what that is. That sounds like a nuclear chemical. That's got numbers in it. Sounds like a top secret project.
I wonder what garden bed they got that out of.
Maybe that's not real. Oh, okay. It's probably, it's a low calorie thing that's saying health and, DDD approved or something, 6 stars out of 2 or whatever, It's all bullshit. Yeah. Look at the back of it. And first of all, if it's in a packet, it's probably not going to be
pretty good indicator.
Yeah. So, if you go to a supermarket, yes, you can buy organic, but it's still in a packet. So, I don't know. I have this theory now with finding a market. We go to the Kiwana markets every Saturday and getting direct from farmers and produce that is clean, no pesticides, no rubbish on it. Not
packaged up and stuff.
Yeah, and make sure it's whole and it's been grown properly. It's the same with anything out of a packet. You've got to be very careful with what you're eating. So from a nutritional standpoint, find a diet that works for you and gets you the results that are for your health, not for what you... And a lot of people support their own propaganda. They'll find things that support what they believe, but they're not actually looking at maybe their gut health or, their deep internal health or their mental health or whatever. Like they're not very aware of what's actually happening. I went and did my bloods.
Yeah.
I went and, had my appointments to check that the function in my body was actually elite. And the doctor was surprised with my bloods. He's like, what do you mean you only eat meat? I'm like, yep. And he's like, how? I'm like, well, I don't know.
And isn't it crazy a doctor's asking you that? Because look, doctors have their place, right? But then I find a lot of the time there's a lot of repeating of the same thing that they've been told for the last 50, 60 years.
It's not the people that are the problem.
No, of course not. It's a system, yeah.
We are, in my belief, we are living in a world that wants to create slaves to the system. All right, so slavery still exists. And, you know, without getting into the whole, you know, chains and whips kind of thing, the government is... like,
Full Super Saiyan.
I won't go into the government, but we live in a system now where people are being whipped with chains every single day mentally. They're waking up, they're going to the same job they fucking hate, they're consuming food that's not designed for their health, they're consuming media that brainwashes them into, you know, negativity and narcissistic, pessimistic thoughts, like absolute fear mongering. Then we're all educated indoctrinated into a system where we have values that have been given to us. We have to buy this to be happy. We have to have this to be approved by society. We have to be a part of the culture. And it's a full brainwashing system. We've been indoctrinated into this socially engineered vision of what the people should do. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there. I mean, this isn't a belief. This is a fact. A lot of people are negatively experiencing life, have really crazy mental health issues, you know, suicide rates, all this disease, illness, all this stuff that comes up. We weren't designed for this, but there's people at the top who are aware of it and who don't live like that. But, you know, we're all here chasing crumbs, and then you put that, you know, idea forward and people go, bullshit, no way, how?
What's it called? Cognitive dissonance. They don't want to believe it because you show them a literal fact about what they're questioning or what they're arguing you with, and I'll show them something and they'll be like, what do you mean? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and I won't try to sit there and argue it because it's fine. Look, like you said, you never want to force yourself upon someone, but dude, it's pretty sad when I'm talking to people that are like doing a job they fucking hate, and I'm like, well, quit, find a new one, start your own business. Why? Like, oh no, I can't do that. Why? I get everyone has responsibilities and all this. Everyone has kids that they have to look after, like things like that. But
there's a way you can integrate it.
100%. There's always a way. There is always a way, and there's always a way to live however you want to live.
And if you don't believe there's a way, there's someone out there who's done it before you, who's willing to teach you.
That's it.
Find them. 100%. If you're in doubt, find the person who's done it before you, and learn from them. Yeah. There's that many abundant people who are ready to teach.
There's mentors, man. This is something that I learned from Jake, my last guest, my good mate. He said something about like a little accountability crew that he's got. So he's got 5 really successful dudes. They all have a little group. They email each other once a month just to say, this is where I'm heading in my goals. This is what I've achieved this month. And they keep each other in check. I love that. So imagine that. Dude, there's some guys in there. There's one guy that started Wow Wipes. I don't know if you've seen those wipes at gyms and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, Jared's a beast, you know, and imagine having someone that entrepreneurial sound and like smart and having that as your guy that is in your circle. So imagine where you're going to go. Having people that, and I said this before to Joshy, I think I said, I'm happy to be the dumbest dude in the room. I always want to be the dumbest dude. I want to be learning all the time, and I don't have an ego anymore. I used to get real like insecure and just like defensive if someone called me out or something. Now I'm just like, yeah, that's a good one. You know, that's fine. I understand my limits and accept all that sort of stuff. So, but obviously, without deviating too much, we've gotten to the point where your breath work, your eating, nutrition. Where do we lead into from there?
Yeah. So once you've got the foundation of the breath, right, then you've got the fuel to actually to run off.
Yep.
Then it's like starting to move your vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you want to? Do you just want to redline it every day? Like, do you get in your car and just foot to the floor? Or do you ease through the gears? You know, like a smart driver will know how to use their vehicle properly. And, you know, if there's an engine light on, you're not going to flog the car. Yeah? But there's that many people out there with a niggle or an injury or pain in their body who are still flogging themselves. You know, that dashboard light is saying, do not flog yourself right now. Take it to your mechanic called Jake Stone,
Cal Kraus,
Corrective Culture.
What a team, man!
Book yourself in for a tune-up. You know, like there's these signals that we have with our bodies that say, you know, you need to do something differently, or you need to just go and get this repaired, or get this, you know, tuned up, or you know, whatever it is. And look, I've got nothing against CrossFit, HIIT, boot camps, and all that stuff.
All has its place.
Fucking epic, man.
Yeah.
It's so sick, but there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
Same with breathwork and meditation. You know, I do value doing some work that requires resilience. You know, our friends out at the farm gym, we do like crazy courses out there carrying
I've heard
tires
them.
and
They're
doing,
cool.
you know, crawling through mud piles and, you know, monkey bars and running through the paddock and shit. Like epic, cool training. It gets me lit up.
It's different.
But I'm not going to do it every day because I don't resonate with that.
Yep.
You know, and you know, then there's time that if you want to go do some CrossFit or whatever, you want to learn Olympic lifting, sweet, but know the balance.
Yeah.
You know, and be able to regulate your system. So with the movement, this is where I've really started to learn a lot about, I think, as a foundation in the common patterns that I see, mobility is so crucial. You know, so adding breath work and mobility to your training so that you can really get past or overcome those challenges that you're feeling in your body, like tight ankles, sore lower back, tight shoulders, sore spine, sore necks, you know, hypermobility, which is, in other words, weakness at end range. So, you know, I'm a pretty mobile guy. I'm just always been I could always touch my toes, right, all that stuff. But I used to get injured a lot playing footy. And I think now, reflecting, it's because I was never shown how to be strong with my flexibility.
Yeah.
You know, so I could just get torn in crazy ranges, and it's the same result. Getting injured is the same result as someone who's tight and breaks it, but you can just go to this range and that happens. You know, so with your training, really understanding how your body functions or what stage of your life you're in with your body, and working on those parts that need to be mobile. Because once you've got the mobility, then you can look at how you move into more intensity or more volume or
like
whatever.
your Olympic lifting and all that sort of stuff.
Or even running. You know, there's that many people running out there with shit feet. So,
like, and they think a good pair of shoes is going to change it.
Yeah,
it's
like
crazy.
really weak feet.
Yeah.
You know, and then that leads onto the ankle, and they poor ankle mobility. So the knees don't function right. The hip throws out. The back's out. Once the back's out, the neck's out, the shoulder's out, your slings, everything. It all leads up, you know, to how you function. So let's go function first. And that's going to come down to, are you rigid and are you like a brick shithouse, or can you actually move?
Yeah.
You know, look at like Bruce Lee, man. Look at that guy's mobility.
Be like water, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, mobility, I think, is the first thing with movement, and find a coach or a mentor or someone who can educate you into how to move better and start to move through space and ranges that are actually safe and build strength in them. So then you can go and use that as a foundation to do whatever it is.
To do your big 200 kilo deadlifts or whatever it is.
Yeah, if you want to lift weights, if you want to do an activity, surfing, BJJ, you know, tough mudders, HIIT training, whatever, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, whatever it is.
Or just live. Man, I've had people come into work who have torn a knee stepping down a step.
Yeah.
You know, or done their back getting out of bed, walking upstairs. Like that should not be happening. So I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I think with movement, that's so important. And I think we're very distracted. You know, I used to live by trying to be the hardest worker in the room in any session, you know, be the sweatiest, be the most wrecked at the end, vomit, throw up, whatever, can't move for days because my legs are so sore because I've crippled myself on the leg press. Like, just stupid shit like that. But just day in, day out, wasn't like push the, you know, test the limits every now and then when you're ready for it. It was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so it's just silly, I think. We need to rethink the way we train and what we train for as well. Like, I do think people need a hobby. You know, for me, it's surfing. And I will get back into BJJ. I loved jits when I was doing it. I've been slack with that.
You're a busy dude.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
Good point.
It's my priorities haven't been with it.
Yeah.
You know, we moved up to Montville, so it's just figuring out, valuing getting there the 2 or 3 times a week because there's a drive into Marushi.
Yep.
And timing with work. So it's just a value proposition with that. And once I restructure that, I'll be back at jits. But surfing and jits for me, that makes sense to train and be mobile. You know, like I do in jiu-jitsu with guys, and I was like kook, white belt, like had done like 5 sessions.
Yeah.
And these guys who are strong, you know, like I'm not the biggest dude in the room either. So they're like, oh yeah, I got this dude. And next thing they're putting me in like crazy with their strength and like trying to overhaul me. And I'm like, yep, being relaxed, can go to these crazy ranges. And they're like, fuck, man, you're super flexible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm mobile because I've learned to add the strength into that range so I don't break. So you get into like crazy positions and they're like blown away. Like, man, I can't even touch my toes. I'm like, you might want to start working on your mobility before you break. Yeah. So just understanding why you train and having a purpose behind it and then structuring it so it's not going to break you. Because you might go 3 years in a HIIT facility or 3 years in a CrossFit or whatever. But if you're not focusing on the foundations, like in business, if you're not focusing on the foundation, you can have this cool idea of what you want to be, but it's falling on, broken legs.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, it's really important that we start thinking about that and I can't tell you how rewarding it is as also for your mental health to work on mobility. Because you have to slow down and you have to be with your breath. You have to breathe into stretches. It's like it's like the yin practice of training.
Okay.
Taking your time. It's not like, how much can we slap on this bar? It's like, no. Be aware. Let yourself stretch. Let go. Use your breath to create space, to create more range. And it feels so, and I don't know if you've done stretch sessions and stuff before. You feel so good after them.
Super important, man.
And you feel so calm. It's like you've got this place to work from where you feel super at ease.
Yeah, well, I think I heard something where, do you know Ben Pekulski? He's like the bodybuilding yogi.
Yeah, B-Pack.
Dude, unreal. So one of the best podcasts I've listened to is Impact Theory by Tom Bilyeu.
Oh, yeah.
And he had Ben on there. And he said this one thing where he was like, every rep, you need to have a mind-body connection. So you really focus on the eccentric, like really focus on that out in, like put all your mind into that, not just, okay, I just need to get through the next set. I need to do the 12 reps and I'm done. I've done my 50 kilo chest press, whatever. You're not getting anything out of it. Or you might still get a bit of, growth and stuff. But he said that if you're in that 45 minutes of training, you are in every set, every rep, and you're focusing on that one movement, the benefits of that. And I think they literally have done scientific research on it, that a group did that and another group just pushed it out, whatever. The benefits to this other group that actually just took their time and actually focused on every movement, it was amazing. So you're talking about stretching, man, like you're in the moment, right? Again, a form of meditation. You bring it to the present. You're not focusing on the past or the future, the anxiety of the future. And people just don't understand those basics, man, which is kind of sad because you wish they had that knowledge. You wish they had that same sort of research and want to learn like we might, sort of thing.
It's such a minority of people have that focus. And so we live in a world that's go, 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 go. And people think, well, I've only got 45 minutes to give to exercise. I'm going to go and beat the shit out of myself because I need to lose weight or I need to burn energy because I ate like shit. So the focus is, how much work can I do in 45 minutes? Not how can I best serve my body in these 45 minutes. So, and that's because of our culture. Time poor, go, go, go. I just said it with BJJ, but I look after myself. Like one of my things is time poor, I can't get to BJJ. I've actually got to do a reflection on like, where's the value in it? What do I need to sacrifice around this? Like people need to do that in their own lives. Like, is that 45 minutes of beating yourself up? Are you actually getting the result you wanted? Or have you just stuck in a pattern you've been doing for 18 months?
Yeah.
And just believing that it's going to work. It's not.
It's part of that system we talked about before.
Yeah.
It's the go to work. It's go to the gym. It's the go home and watch Channel 7 News or whatever it might be, and then eat dinner, go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's your life. And you wait for the weekend to, like you said, just go have your breakfast at whatever, take a few pictures, and that's your enjoyment for the week.
Reality.
Dude, no, that terrifies me that people are having to deal with that. So there were 4 keys, weren't there? Was there another?
Yeah. So the fifth one is the mind.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not the last thing that comes on the list, but I think it's one of the most important, probably the most important, because of what those 4 practices do. So, your breath, your nutrition, and your movement. Oh, so that's 4. That's 3.
Yeah. Breath, nutrition, movement.
3.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Did I finish year 12? Shit.
Inception.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think the mind is so heavily influenced by those 3. So it's really important to understand your mind and how it functions. And so for me, it's getting really clear on awareness. So the thing that we do at Exalta, and this is what I learned through doing lots of personal development, is I developed the Exalto pillars. So there are 3 pillars that everyone does before they train physically. So you turn up for yourself. Mm-hmm. It's the first action in your training. And then you start with your mind. Okay, so mind flex is what I've coined from our new mentor, Paul Council. He goes, why are we something that we want to be expansive and grow in? Would we set it and be rigid? And he's like in his 70s. Why would we want to set it and be rigid?
How much more do you want to listen to a guy like that, eh?
I'm like,
God, Gandalf, tell me more.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, is set not meaning it's stuck or rigid? And I'm like, Ugh. He goes, yeah, well, that would be mindset, wouldn't it? And I'm like, he goes, so instead I focus on mind flexibility. And so it's like mind flex. And then even when you first hear it, you come like, I'm not going to say mind flex. Sounds fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm all about mindset, bro. Positive mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, well, are you stuck and are you rigid around that as a concept as well? Or can you let go of set? Can you be flexible? And
so malleable.
Yeah, and it literally took me 6 months to start saying it in conversation, mind flex.
Yeah, right.
Because the start, I was like, oh, people are going to be like, it's mind flex, like I'm breaking the stigma. And now I'm like, to me, it's mind flex because I think, okay, how can I flex my mind? How can I be flexible in this space? So, the 3 pillars of mind flex that we use, we always start with gratitude. Be all and end all. Not that that's rigid. If something comes along that's better and I see it as being better service to myself and my clients, then it'll be replaced as the first one. But I believe with an attitude of gratitude, that's an incredible foundation to start on. So on the wall, we have a big wall, a whiteboard wall, and it gets cleaned every month. So, you come in, you grab a whiteboard marker, just like you're drawing on a whiteboard wall.
Oh, I've seen them doing that, yeah.
Yeah, and so you do 3 points of gratitude. Yep. So you got to be present at training. You can't just come in and check yourself in and then get straight into being a clown. You've got to in here, and we juggle it at the gym, so that's why I say clown.
Nice.
You come in, you take a breath, and you get clear on what you're grateful for. So 3 things. All right, what am I grateful for today? A, B, and C. For myself, this morning, my gratitude was my dog Soul. I'll just make it right because I can't remember this morning's journal, but my brother hooking me up with a coconut water. Looking after the boys. It is.
Yeah, well, actually.
My dog Soul, coconut water, and then connections. Yep. I'm really grateful for this connection. So that as a foundation, gratitude just puts me in a state where I'm like, I appreciate this. I don't need anything else. It's okay. In the past is in the past. Right here, I'm grateful for those 3 things.
Cool.
So that's a starter. Then we go to self-talk. So understanding the thoughts that go through your head and what you're actually saying to yourself. There's that whole thing of you don't talk to yourself as if you talk to other. Oh, you talk to yourself as if you talk to other people. You treat other people else kind, but then you talk to yourself like shit inside your own head.
Yeah.
So start treating yourself like you do other people, and you will notice massive results. So for us, it's I am 3 points. So what's going to serve you today? They say we have 60,000 thoughts on average a day.
It's crazy, eh?
Man, just that. And that's just a human mind. So out of those 60,000 thoughts, give or take, let's choose 3 consciously that are going to serve us today. So I am passionate, I am energy, I am calm, I am of service, I am present, I am here, I am love, I am loved. There's so many things.
And you're just saying this to yourself, or are you looking in the mirror doing this, or is
we
it?
writ it on the board.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, this is at Exalta.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you can practice,
of course.
But just being aware of it.
Yeah.
Even in who was it? The UFC, the chick champion in the last fight.
Oh my God, yeah.
And she's saying, "I am the best."
Yeah.
I am the best.
And she believed it, man.
Literally in that moment.
Yeah.
She's like, "It's the biggest challenge of life to date."
Yeah.
She's saying, she's talking to herself. She's not there going, "Fuck, come on, be on your game, be on your game." She's saying, "I am the best. I am the best."
Conor McGregor's really good with it, man.
He's the king at it, man. And yes, he's probably worked through that hot point in his career, but it got him to where he needed to be. You know, believe in
He
yourself.
believed it. He was like, I'm the world champion.
Yeah.
It's like that. Have you done that quantum possibility stuff, like Charlie Rocket?
Oh yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that episode, and I'm very aware of like the manifestation and what you're putting out, and like your quantum reality is what's drawn to you. So you know, the things that come to you are what you're actually asking for subconsciously. So we use the I ams as like them being aware of their self-talk, and some people struggle to put positive things on there because they're in that pattern of looking down on themselves.
Yeah.
So let's stand at the wall and be like, fuck, 3 positive words about myself today.
Isn't that sad, man?
It's like, I am, fuck, that's hard. And that's a part of the Exalto method, is giving them that space to start understanding that. Because you start working through that as well with the other work we do, breath work, you know, mind flex, education, awareness, you know, all that stuff contributes to you getting into a position. Someone asked me, what are 3 things that you are today, right now, that you want? I'll go bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Yeah. Just, I'm confident in my mind, and I'm confident in myself that I can bring anything up. So after the IAMs, we then do the most challenging thing for most people in our world, self-love. So can you fill your own cup up? And we do 3 things that money can't buy. So, you know, have on there self-love. It can be body parts, characteristics, organs, you know, the way you treat other people, skills, anything you've got in your human being existence. Yeah, like, and I say to people struggle with that one hardcore. Like, what 3 things you love? And they're like, oh man, what do I love about myself? And it can take them 10 minutes to find something they love about themselves. Man. And even saying the basics, like, do you love the fact you've got a working brain? Do you love the fact that you've got a heart that beats, pumps blood? Do you love the fact that you've got 2 arms or 2 legs? Do you love the fact that you can even think right now, like you are here? And sometimes they're like, you know, putting their heart down or putting their brain down doesn't really resonate because they can't show themselves that appreciation. So, you know, they're the 3 pillars that we use. You know, gratitude, just instilling that, you know, attitude of gratitude, that appreciation for the present moment and what is. Your self-talk, so the way you talk to yourself, and then fill up your own cup. Because I can't give you $1 if I don't have one. If I'm stripped, I can't give you that $1. I want to give, but I'll give you fake shit.
Yep.
I'll give you Monopoly money. You know, but if I've got that $1, even if it's my last $1, I can go like, here, I've got it for you. So it's the same with love. Like, let's fill up our own cup so that we're overflowing, we're abundant in love, and then people will just be attracted to it.
Yeah, so true. And that's, I received I've never really had this compliment before. So I was at work yesterday, and this lady, it was near the end of the day, I was vibing all day, having a sick day. We had like four people calling sick, so I just knew it was going to be a bit busy. But I was like, hey, it's cool. I got this. I've been here for like 6 years. I can handle it. All day, man, my energy levels were like at 100. Had an amazing day. And then this last lady, at the end of the day, for her to say to me, you have a really beautiful energy about you. When I heard that, I was like, fuck, I've never heard. And I don't really get compliments, which, you know, I think we need to normalize that too. I'd love to go around and just randomly saying, bro, I love your energy, or I love what you're wearing, or what you look like, you know, that sort of stuff. Getting it from a random stranger just hit me different. I was like, geez, that's cool. And it wasn't, I don't say those things in like, yeah, someone told me this. Yeah, it's more of we talk about self-love. Yeah, I'm accepting of, man, that is the person I am now. I am beautiful energy. I am that person that can give energy to people in rooms. I'm that guy that walks in the room and I can, you know, help people. I can help fill their cup because my cup's always full. Because like we talked about before, I'm doing the shit I love.
And if it's not, having the space to give it back to yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to realise that too.
Sinking in the wallows and going, you know, okay, I'm a bit run down. Maybe I've put a lot out.
Yeah.
Go back.
Because that does happen. I definitely get burnt out.
Oh man, it happens all the time.
Yeah, I just you know, game for a bit, play some ball.
Yeah, I saw the other way you just out there sinking.
Oh, dude, I love basketball. I've been playing it since I was like 17, I think. I wish I had played it when I was younger, but that's my big time hobby. And again, I don't find enough time for it. I should. There's a hoop just there.
Yeah,
I should be going to it every day because that's my thing. But Yeah,
Well,
we talked about.
So just leave it.
It's cool.
It is what it is.
It is
Like,
what it is. Of course,
if you go through
like you said with your jets.
yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's other things that are in my value system right now more important, such as growing this, talking to people like yourself, and providing value to other people. And
Yeah,
you know,
and when you need it, it's there, and you access it.
yeah, no, that's awesome. So, man, that right there, I hope, because that was like that little part we just did then. That's perfect. I think it's a great platform for them to be able to get on a path, because I had a few questions that we might even actually get these few questions here.
Yeah.
There was someone asked me, how do I do this lifestyle on a budget? And I was thinking, well, it's definitely doable. You know, you don't have to be.
Well, what budget are we talking about?
Of course, because everyone's on, what are you, $600 a week, $2,000 a week, whatever it might be, but breathing's free. So that's something you can incorporate into your life that's going to fit your budget, everyone's budget.
Yeah, and before I'd look at the lack mentality of a budget, where are you currently spending money?
Yeah. Do a breakdown of that.
Well, do a subscription cleanse. So go to your bank and look at all the automated payments. Maybe it's Spotify. You know, there's just so much shit that we sign up for. It could be $5 a week.
Yeah.
But you could save yourself $50 or $60 a week just over your subscriptions. If there's 4 or 5 of them, and that frees up some money. And if it's not something you're using all the time, and it's a value proposition as well. You know, like, do you value this over that?
Yeah.
Do you value this over that? Yeah. Where's your values? Get your values set out, then you can make easy decisions. If you don't have values, you just what's more valuable? Bang, sweet. But I think from a budget point of view, a lot of people think, well, breath work is free. You can find so much stuff on YouTube. Look up Wim Hof, get his app, it's free. You can look up so many different breathwork techniques on there, calming, or do some experimentation.
Yeah.
Like I've got 5 techniques on my Instagram. I can go and scroll Yoda Strength. I'll find some on them.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's so much knowledge. We're in an information era. So go out there and find it for free first.
Dude, there's books at op shops and stuff.
Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we forget the amount of knowledge that's in books. There's so many books. But yeah, find a way to start educating yourself with breath. Then if it comes to nutrition, like
get as clean as you can.
Man, people say eating healthy is expensive. That is the biggest bullshit excuse that I hear so much. Eating healthy is expensive. It's not, because I do it on a budget. I spend, my partner buys $50 worth of veggies from the market each week. We spend about $150 on meat. That's between 2 of us.
That's good, man.
And so if it was just me, I could go without the veggies. And I'd only eat about $80 worth of meat a week. So,
and you're getting like organic meat, right, as well?
Not organic, but grass-fed.
Yeah. Which is still really good stuff.
Yeah, we won't go deep into that. I just make sure it's grass-fed, grass-finished. If you eat meat, grass-fed, grass-finished.
Cool.
So find someone that actually has an awareness around this stuff, so they're not just eating shit. But like, yeah, and then be aware of the shit that you're spending money on. You know, if you just splurging or whatever.
Alcohol adds up real quick.
Coffee, man.
Yeah.
Man, I went cold turkey off coffee. That saves you $60-$70 a week.
You still off it?
No. So that was years ago.
Okay, yeah.
That will save you $60 to $70 a week. You'll be surprised when you stop buying coffee out how much money. And yes, it's okay to have, go and have a coffee once or twice with your mates or whatever, meetings. But I went cold turkey and started having, like mushroom chagas and teas and stuff like Jing mushroom, because it actually boosts your adrenals. So coffee depletes your adrenals. You get like a quick high and then you're in depleted state.
Right.
So it actually wrecks you long term. So if you're not aware of how to get those adrenals back up with nutrition and all that kind of stuff, you're actually going to be putting yourself in a worse state drinking coffee every day.
Yep.
So yeah, wipe out coffee, and then we started buying it. We got a French press at home and make our own bulletproofs at home. So now our coffee's like $2.
Actually, I just saw. Did you do one this morning?
Yeah, no, yesterday.
Because Sheridan was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was cool. Because I heard her on was it Callan Jakes?
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize I went to school with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and but incredible, man. So her ideas on food and everything, even just seeing her stuff, that made me think a bit. Because I'm a big dude. I'm 128 kilos, 6'5", but that's what I work at. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm fit. That's what I focus on. Obviously, I'd love to look a little bit better. Get rid of my man titties and stuff like that. But when I go to the gym, I feel unstoppable. I'm the best ever I have been mentally. But
maybe we forget that in a lot of tribes and stuff, there's different heights. Ancestrally, we weren't all just different.
Yeah, that's it, man. And I accept it.
You're fucking happy.
And I move well. I can still dunk. I can still.
You dance?
Yeah, I can dance. I mean, I'm all right.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk myself up.
Yeah,
but
shimmy.
Yeah, so when you talk about movement and stuff, that is something I've always been pretty good at for a big dude. I can move quite well. So, and there's those things that I understand balance as well. I still love to have a beer with the boys. I'm going to, do that sort of stuff. Might have a pizza with the missus here and there, but it's just understanding, again, I think it all boils down to, though, this is something that I wanted to go through before, but I didn't want to take you off. But I do these things because I understand my why now too. I have a passion. I understand my purpose in life. I understand that, not saying that all that stuff involves that, but I just know what is involved in that lifestyle now. So I don't know if this is a question you can answer, but I'm sure you have an input on it. How do people figure out what they're supposed to be doing? What's their purpose? All their, what was it that brought you to the point where you're like, yes, I know we talked about there was that catalyst moment where you went through some pretty serious shit. But what is it that, I can't remember what Cal said that his reason was he went into Paul check and that sort of thing, like coming through his jail term. Obviously he went through some rough times there, but what is it that's going to help people find their thing? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing. And I know it's a bloody tough question because...
No, it's not tough. I just want to make sure I deliver it in a way that's not biased.
Yeah, okay.
So we're also different. We've actually been talking about purpose. So each week at Exalta, we have a MindFlex topic. So before each session, we discuss topics, and it helps us expand our awareness, and our members get involved and stuff. It's epic, man. It's like these chats every morning.
Yeah.
Obviously not for 2 hours, but it's like 10 minutes before training. And so we talk, and we're just talking about purpose. And it's interesting when you ask people what their purpose is. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes for someone asks me my purpose, well, I'm pretty clear on my purpose now. I want to be able to contribute back to people what I've learned so that they can live better. Yeah, and that inspires me to keep getting better. But if I ask random Joe Blogs on the street, he might be like, "Fuck off! I don't know what my purpose is." Oh, fuck! Thanks for making me feel like shit.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a purpose either. I think it's like this expectation to have a purpose in life can also be disabling or maybe negative or
overwhelm people a little
overwhelming,
bit.
So I just go back to, well, for me, it's probably teaching people to slow down first so they have time and space. Because in our rushed lifestyles, the go mentality, it's hard to focus on things, and you're going back to what Connor was saying is about do we want to live the life to where we're on our deathbed and think, man, I should have slowed down and enjoyed my life more. Yeah. So for some people it might be the opposite. They're in that. I don't meet a lot of people who do nothing. But for those people, it's probably the opposite. Maybe speed things up a little bit. Come on, let's get some stuff happening, sulking and hanging around. But for most people I come across, we're living too fast. And we struggle to be in the present moment. And so what I mean by that is once you're in the present moment, once you're present, you then have the ability to start considering things like that. But if you haven't slowed your mind down yet, it's going to be really hard to get clear because there's so much going on. I've been there before. It's like ask someone what their purpose is when they're thinking about this, that, and everything. Fuck, I don't have time for that shit. So let's get people back to the present moment and provide them the time and space to start understanding themselves better.
Mm.
And then if they aren't clear on their purpose, that's cool. That means you're not there on your journey yet. I'm grateful that I went through all that adversity because it's given me that fire. But I know my purpose will also change and evolve through life because, different things might happen. We're going to have a family one day. I think that's going to have an influence on my purpose. I'm going to have different businesses. I'm going to have different interests. So it's all going to influence the bigger purpose. But then also I think I brought it back for our guys last week in our chat and said, just make it simple. Let's always simplicity wins.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of drinking water, Trav?
Staying alive.
Cool.
Hydrating myself.
Yeah. What's the purpose of having good people around you?
Being happy, having good times together. Support.
So there is purpose in everything we do.
I like that.
There is. There's an underlying purpose in every single, even bad habits.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I'm very, I'm open with guys. And when I don't chew my nails, but it's a childhood habit that I'm very well aware of that I do when I'm stressed or I'm feeling anxious. And I've been chewing my nails the last month.
Hey.
And my missus keeps pulling me up on it. Nicola keeps going, stop chewing your nails. And I've learned not to beat myself up about it anymore. I used to be like, damn, fucking, you idiot, you're biting your nails again. For me, it's a good indication that I'm not doing sufficient enough amount of work to keep my mind calm because we've got a lot going on at the moment. But I also keep myself very present. Like I'm very well aware of not getting too consumed or getting close to burnout. So for me, when I bite my nails, it's a purposeful thing in my life to say, hey, get back to your breath work, get back to your meditation.
It's your indicator.
Yeah, and there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, that question, I don't think there's any pressure to know your purpose.
No.
And instead, maybe just chill and ask yourself some really simple things. What's the purpose of this? And what is, it kind of lights you up when you think about those answers. What's the purpose of drinking water? Well, stay hydrated, stay healthy, stay alive, survival. Yeah. So there's purpose in everything.
That's awesome. I like that because I see a lot of people too when we talk about kids wanting to go to uni and stuff after school. Because I think a lot of them get it forced upon them. It's like, this is a societal belief that I have to go to uni. I have to go do this. I have to go do this. My parents want me to do it, whatever it might be. And I'm not saying you should never strive for success and try to do more things and that sort of thing. But I think a lot of people stress themselves out trying to do so much that they want to be what they deem as successful. Because I think success is subjective. Each person's success should be their own. If successful for me, right now, my life, I think, is super successful because I get to spend time with my missus a lot. I get to see my family. I get to hang out with my friends. I've got free time to go play ball. I get to talk to cool people like yourself. This is my lifestyle that I've created. This is my technician. I've gone into my technician archetype or whatever it might be and just said, dude, I can create whatever the fuck I want. If I can black out what everyone else thinks and what everyone else says, which is what used to dominate my life all the time. I used to worry about what everyone thought so much that it got to me the point where I was going to kill myself. That blows my mind, that I allowed myself to be so dominated by those thoughts of what everyone thinks I should be. So why aren't I that person that everyone thinks I should be? Fuck this, I'll just kill myself. There's people that are going through that every day, man. And that's why I do these things. That's why I want to do this. That's why I wanted you on here so bad, because I knew you were going to blow it off. This is, dude, 2 hours of just absolute gold. I know people are going to appreciate this shit. So
thank you, bro. Thanks for giving me the space.
Hey, man, honestly, I feel like we could easily go for another hour or so, but I don't want to push my limits.
Bro, we could go for days.
Yeah. But I feel like I've noticed that my first one with Joshy, 2.5 hours, bit long for a few people. There was gold all through it. He was amazing. Made it super easy for me. But if we can keep it around here, hopefully then people have got enough, I guess.
It's digestible.
Yeah, attention to listen to it and take it all in. So, but when we talk about all the tools you just gave us, the resources, the story, because maybe someone's gone through the same sort of stuff. But something I like to finish it off with at the end is I love gassing up other businesses and stuff. So if there's anyone, even if it's yourself, what are the butchers you use? Obviously, we know you go to the Kiwana Farmers Markets, stuff like that. So shout them out.
Yeah, sweet. So I'll run through those 4 points, hey?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So breath, I've already done that. So you can scroll back and listen to those. We're going to do nutrition. So definitely follow Sheridan. She's my personal.
Sheridan Austin, is it?
Sheridan Joy Austin.
Yeah.
She's incredible, and she changed my life years ago with nutrition, and then that's why we've now teamed up with her. She works with our clients, and
so she's connected with Exalto.
Well, she was working out of Exalto at the start. Now she runs it from her home business, but she's our direct nutritionist.
Yep.
And then she's also Felt Retreats.
What a crew, man. It's like the Avengers. Jesus.
So she's a nutrition on our retreats as well.
Yeah,
so
we've
teamed up with her now to create the retreats business. So nutrition, definitely Sheridan. And then, produce-wise, we go to Bucox in Batinia. Those boys are just
unreal,
on the money, man. Like your Monday meats, if you're up north, like Noosa, I think they're the pinnacle. But the boys are cool. Like we were driving up to Noosa each week to get our meat because they're so awesome up there. So health conscious and so regenerative focused. Then we met the boys at Bucox, and then straight away I was like, okay, I don't have to go to Noosa anymore. These boys are
on the same sort of level.
Yeah, and Jake actually used to work at. He used to manage it.
Oh,
yeah. So he's fully on board with their whole philosophy.
Yeah.
Which is why they're so good, right? And Bowie, the owner, he's open enough to have that as a butcher, because it's easy to just be the stock standard, make a quick buck.
Yeah.
But they actually care about the quality. Bucox and then Kiwana Farmers Markets, you can't go wrong. It's just incredible there. Cafes around because we don't eat out much because there's just poor quality oils, produce, like profit margins. I understand as a restaurant like hospitality, it must be hard to run quality food because
and still make a buck sort of thing.
Especially at that level.
Yeah.
But John Kyle Espresso, Matty Allman up in Budrum.
Yeah.
They're unreal. Good coffee and good food.
Yep.
CK Whole Foods in Maroochydore, they're awesome. They're just in the Homemaker Centre now.
Oh, yeah. I remember one. Yep.
Yeah. Ours down in Caloundra, unreal. They do really good bulletproof.
Nice.
Scrub Turkey has a solid breakfast menu.
Oh, is that just up here near Be Fresh?
Yeah. They do good food, and then also the bulletproof at Be Fresh is awesome. So that's what I kind of focus on nutrition wise. And then where are we at? Movement,
yeah.
Yeah, corrective culture, I think those boys are changing the game here on the coast.
So they have to be number one on the coast here, I reckon. Obviously, you got physios, awesome physios and stuff, but
just the all-rounded approach.
Yeah.
The Czech philosophy. And so if you're listening countrywide or even worldwide, find a Czech practitioner because they will literally change. They'll evolve your whole world from those 4 levels: physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. Like it's just incredible.
So everything the boys do, they haven't modified it to their own taste. They're still,
obviously, but they are Czech practitioners.
Yeah. So that's the basis of it.
What you'll find with one Czech practitioner is going to be thereabouts with each. That's the philosophy of Czech Institute. Yep. So it's all coming down from Paul Czech. So movement, I would say them, and then find yourself a coach who can teach you about mobility. And then if you wanted to go into performance, if you're global, I'd look into ATG. We didn't get there on the podcast, but Athletic Truth Group by Ben Patrick.
Yep.
And Keegan Smith's now driving that as well. Some really quality information if you're training in a 24/7 gym and you want to get more out of your body or performance, whatever. And if you're on the Sunshine Coast, come and check out Exalto. We do things differently. If you want to learn about breath work, ice baths, meditation, handstands, gymnastics, not your stock standard fitness. Really about moving and playing and enjoying your body a lot more. So,
yep.
Movement and then mind.
I feel like there's guys that you've sort of named a few that are still going to play into that, aren't they?
Yeah. So Wim Hof, Troy Casey, certified health nut, Dan Brule, then Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
Like if you aren't on the Joe Dispenza wagon, YouTube the shit out of that man because it'll just take you to new levels of that quantum lens, perspective of looking at yourself with a bigger picture and understanding yourself better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Joe Dispenza. And then my other go-tos, I know Jake's like heavily into Ram Dass as well, but,
Yeah.
you know, spiritual-wise, just listen to like Ram Dass and Alan Watts audios.
Oh, dude, Alan Watts is unreal.
Man.
Holy.
It's like listening to the person you've always wanted to listen to.
Yeah, he just hits different, eh?
Yeah.
And when they've done like a lo-fi beat behind it or something, you just sit there studying or whatever, and you have him in the background. Just some of the things he said were so profound. It's insane. So I rate that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty well all I've got to give you at the moment.
Dude, as I said, I feel like we easily could have gone 3-4 hours in, but what I'm thinking is, with a lot of my guests, because I'm finding so much value in it, there's going to have to be part twos, all this sort of stuff. So, but what I'll do in say part two, it's like a very structured sort of system where we can like, because now we know the story, we understand who Jordan Potts is.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be hopefully questions based off the back of your episode. Can we go deeper on a few things? Are there some things that they've heard and they thought, oh, how do you learn about that? Like, how do you go deeper on that? So that sort of stuff. So, but dude, that was perfect. Answered the questions I needed. We went deep enough. You got pretty raw, which is awesome. I love the fact that we can do that on this. And it's just going to get, like you said, just get bigger and bigger. Hopefully. If not, it's cool. If I have 4 or 5 listeners, sick.
And change one life. That's all that matters.
Honestly, that's what I love about this. It's like, I think I posted the other day, it was like I had, I think like 54 active listeners or something. For me, that's phenomenal because I literally thought there might be like 5 or 6. So to have people message me and stuff and say already like that chat you had with Josh or Jake, and I know this one's going to get a few replies. So if it can, like you said, leave an impact on 1 or 2 people, we're good. But I appreciate you coming in, bro. I really do. And I hope the meeting and stuff today goes well.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. I do thank you for having that space. You know, it's very important for us moving forward as leaders in our communities and as, you know, role models as men to show people that what it's like to be a human being.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people hurting out there, and if we can provide them, like I said, the space and the support to then step into their own power, and that's the way forward. So thank you for that, bro.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming on. Oos.